What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here, back with another video. And in today's video, guys, I wanted to do a combat AI tier list for Duet and Abyss. Now, I wanted to do specifically combat AI because I had a few people mention from my last tier list video that I did that I think separating it into a combat AI tier list and then doing a separate like on-field DPS tier list, I think would be a lot better to kind of gauge what characters are good for what type of, kind of role in the game. And so what we're going to be doing in today's video, guys, is I'm mainly going to be ranking the supportive type characters in the game. And yeah, I mean, I'll put all the other characters as well where I feel like I would rank them in terms of combat AI. But yeah, we're going to be ranking all that in today's video. So if you guys do enjoy videos like this, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as we are on the road to that 6,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I definitely do appreciate you guys on the channel, man, showing a ton of support and all that. So it definitely does mean a lot. And with that out of the way, man, let's hop in and let's go over it. Starting out here, guys, with Berenica, I think for now, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to focus, instead of even going to a character like Berenica, let's start with the more supportive type role characters. So I'm actually going to move up a bunch of characters here that I think we could actually rank ahead of some of the other characters here, and we'll go over them first for where I actually think they would be ranked. So let's start here with Tabitha, guys. Tabitha is gonna go in best right now, and the reason why Tabitha is gonna go in best is because she is a character that is pretty much universally used as combat AI support because of her skill damage buffing effect on her skill, right? She is able to boost skill damage for allies, and skill damage is the main way that a lot of damage is done in Duet and Abyss. As for character support, we are mainly going for skill damage in terms of the damage buffing. Now, there are obviously continence weapons, and buffing weapon damage is also fairly good for that type of kind of role for a character. But again, guys, skill damage as a buff is insanely strong, and so in my opinion, I'm actually gonna rank Tabitha in the best tier, where I think she is one of the best, if not the best, skill damage support in the entire game, which is very good. Now, moving on to a character like Margie, guys, I think Margie is actually going to be I think solid support. Now, the reason why Margie is not as insane as I think some other characters, but you could also argue maybe is a little bit higher as well, is because of the fact that she only is giving the raw attack percent, and attack percent versus something like skill damage is a lot less in terms of the amount of value you would get versus the actual skill damage buff you would be getting, right? So I think it is solid, and Margie does have other introns that do help with providing more like damage for your actual team itself, and she has fairly good AoE damage as well. But I would say my main thing with Margie is that, like, yeah, if you just want like outright attack support without having to do any skills, then she might be in like best tier. But for most scenarios, if you are running Margie, there is better options, right? So I do think that if I had to rank her right now, it would either be solid or great. For now, I'm going to leave it in solid. We'll talk about some other characters we can run in those slots too, but for now, I am going to leave Margie in the solid tier. Now, moving on to a character like Hellfire, guys, this is going to honestly depend on the type of content you are doing in the game. If you're doing more farming related content, I actually think Hellfire is a solid combat AI support because she's going to put up her E, and she's going to use the skill with her ultimate, and it's going to do a bunch of DOT on enemies, especially if it is a attribute advantage stage and you're actually dealing like 100 to 200k a tick. It's not too bad, like Hellfire actually does have her use in that scenario. Now, is she really providing that much support on the team? Not necessarily though, right? Whereas you have like other characters that are providing at least like a general buff support. Hellfire is mainly there for damage over time that she can do in auto kind of content or things like that. So I actually do think that I will give Hellfire the solid tier. I actually think she's fairly good, and yeah, I mean, again, she's not going to be like a best in slot like combat support, mostly just for like AFK farming and things like that, right? Where you just want your combat AI to kind of just do their thing. All right, now moving on to the next slot here, guys, I'm actually gonna put Sybil in the great tier. Now, Sybil being in great tier, the reason why I say this is because Sybil actually enables characters that need to be doing damage to actually auto their certain abilities. So a character like Rebecca here, I am gonna also put in the great tier because Sybil's ultimate actually enables a character like Rebecca to do insanely good auto farming, where you really don't have to do anything with your characters, and you can just like literally let Sybil do her ultimate, and then Rebecca will start actually attacking that orb and putting down her jellyfish. So in a way, it's a way of like making the AI smarter in a sense, you know what I mean? So that's why I actually will put those two in the great tier, because they are generally better farmers than a character like Hellfire, but also the fact that they are providing really good damage over time and just auto capability for AFK farming, for like PvE AFK farming, or like general exploration, stuff like that, this is going to be really good. And so I do think Sybil and Rebecca will get that tier right there. I think they are actually very, very good. And now that I'm thinking about it as well, guys, I think I might have to adjust the tier. So I think I might do this, actually, because I am thinking of some other characters that will be a little bit better than, the Sybil and Rebecca. So I think I'm gonna move it to this. But again, I think these characters are solid, right? Like they're fairly good. So moving on, guys, we have Daphne. Daphne is going to go in the great tier for Combat AI. Now, she is not only providing healing, she is giving you a Nemo additional damage, and then she also is giving critical chance to your other allies as Combat AI support. Now, that is actually fairly good for a character like, Psyche, right? Psyche obviously benefits fairly well from that. There are other characters that in the future, when we do get, more like crit chance enabling constant weapon DPSs, or when weapons themselves actually get better, I could see this character Daphne even going maybe the best tier. But right now, I think Daphne is in the great tier. I think she's solid, and it's one of those things where, like, right now in the game, she has gotten power card already in a sense, but like she is like solid for her role, right? If you just need, a little bit extra healing, you need some damage dealt, you need that additional Nemo damage, and then the crit chance, I think she actually is very, very good. So I'm gonna give Daphne the great tier right there. Again, she's not like the best like a Nemo like support or anything like that, but for a character like Psyche, like she's pretty much like one of Psyche's best supports in the game, right? So that is a very good thing. And again, Psyche is one of the best DPSs in the game as well. So yeah, I am gonna give the great tier right there for Daphne. Now moving on, guys, to the MC right now, guys, is a toss-up for me, because MC is very, very good as Combat AI support. MC is not only providing the weapon damage, which is good for constant weapon characters, but also the fact that MC is providing the ultra shield and trigger probability too. So it's one of those things where, like, right now, MC is fairly niche. You only run MC for a character like Lynn, or I guess maybe Psyche too, or like Lisbel, right? Because it's mainly a character that you're gonna run for Combat AI on weapon damage DPS characters, so consonant weapon damage dealers. So MC is very good in that, right? And I mean, you are gonna be providing a lot of support for that. So again, for a character like Lynn, this is a best in slot. For a character like Lisbel, I think it's a best in slot. So it's just gonna kind of depend on the team that you're rocking the character on and like the DPS you're trying to run. But I do think MC is insanely strong, and once we get the i6 for MC, guys, I think MC is gonna skyrocket as well and be even better, and probably in the best tier, especially when we get even stronger weapon, either constant weapon damage dealers or just general weapon damage dealers in the game. So moving on, guys, to the next character we have is Randy. I'm going to put Randy in the OK tier. Now, the reason why I say this is because Randy is going to be able to shred enemy shield, and he also does damage over time, which is solid, right? And it's, again, it's from a Combat AI support's perspective, is the Combat AI just wants to do either, some AoE clearing, maybe some, support abilities, some damage over time, or ways to do a certain thing, and Randy can shred shields very easily. So with that, I mean, he's okay. Again, it's like one of those things, like, I would probably put him on the level of like Hellfire here, where I think it's like solid, but again, it's one of those things where you probably wouldn't use Randy over like Rebecca or Sybil for like AFK farming, right? And again, like it's just for now, I think Randy has some use. Like, again, shield stripping is good. Maybe in higher level content, Randy's actually useful just to shred those shields to get to the HP of the enemies. But like right now, in just like your general farming content, you're not gonna run him over like Rebecca or Sybil, in my opinion, guys. Like that's just the way it is, right? So yeah, that's where I'm gonna have Randy right there. Now moving on to Berenica, guys. I'm gonna put Berenica in trash. Now, again, the main DPS characters, this is not their role, guys. They are not meant to be Combat AI, right? So a main DPS character like Berenica here, I'm gonna put Outsider in there. I'm gonna put Lynn in OK because of her AoE clearing. I'm gonna put Psyche in OK as well. Rhythm is gonna go in the solid tier as Combat AI if you have her I2. If you don't have her I2, I think she probably goes to like trash or OK. But I will, generally say, like, based on, like, regardless of the dupes, I think, like, Rhythm is a fairly good AoE clear, probably on the level of these other two. But again, I2 is where I would say that's the case. Yale and Oliver, I'm going to put in the OK tier again, fairly good AoE clearing. Lady Nightfall is going to go in solid for AoE clearing and just, like, as a Combat AI support. Like, I think she actually does provide a fairly good amount. And honestly, for immersive theater content, she's probably great. She's probably great just for grouping. Like, the grouping she provides, I think the grouping is really good. And the fact that you are able to, not only have really good damage, but also that AoE grouping potential, I think makes Nightfall like a very solid option as well for Combat AI. Now moving on, guys, we got Truffle and Filbert in the best tier as the other best in slot for most teams. Pretty much 99% of the teams in the game. I would have to say Truffle and Filbert is a best in slot on pretty much every team, guys. That's just how it goes with this character. Truffle and Filbert is one of the best supports in the game, and in my opinion, yeah, just like insanely good option, you know. I think it's one of those things, right, where Truffle and Filbert is the best sustain and the best general damage buffer in the game, right? Because you have both the healing and you have both the damage buff. So in my opinion, I am actually going to put Truffle and Filbert in best, and because of like everything she's providing, it is like either you're running Truffle and Filbert or Tabitha, and then the next character here, which is getting in the best tier, which is Fina, right? So it's these three characters, and they're interchangeable depending on the team. So if it's a case where it's like, let's just say you're running like Psyche, right? You're gonna run Truffle and Fina, right? Because Fina's buffing weapon damage, right? So you're getting weapon damage buff, and you're getting the Truffle damage percent buff. Now, if you're running a team like, you know, Fantasio main DPS, right? I'm gonna put Fantasio in OK as well. If you have Fantasio as main DPS, then you would run Tabitha and Truffle, because Tabitha's skill damage buff is going to benefit a character like Fantasio more than Fina's weapon damage and general damage buff from her, right? So again, it's going to be different for a lot of people, guys, in terms of how you go about it. But I think right now in the game, for where I'm at right now, I think I would probably have it as these three are the best supports in the game, right? And just straight up, like, they are the best supports in the game. And then I think Daphne and MC are more niche setups, whereas like these three are pretty universal on like any team you're running like combat AI support. Lisbel's probably an OK as well. Again, I'm thinking of like more like AoE DPS, guys. So like Lynn, because she's like an AoE-ish DPS, I would give her the OK. You know, like Yellen Oliver, Fantasio, and Lisbel, they're all fairly good AoE DPS. So because of that, I think I will give them the OK. And I actually am going to move Margie up actually to OK, because now I'm thinking about it, Margie is the weakest combat AI support, but of like the ones that actually are buffing the main DPS character, but she still is providing like a fairly good amount. Like, again, just raw attack is good for some teams. Like for a exploration farming team AFK, sometimes people just run Margie for the raw attack and not having to use a certain skill. Like sometimes Tabitha will like grab enemies, and that can kind of mess you up a little bit too, right? So having a character like Margie where you just get the attack buff, I think is actually very good. So again, guys, like Berenica and Outsider being in the trash tier for combat AI, honestly, we could just do this too, if we're being realistic, right? If we're being realistic, it's probably all of this too, because of the fact that you're never running these characters as combat AI, right? I just put them in this kind of order, since if you are running like, you know, AoE oriented like exploration or something like that, if you have like a Lynn will clear AoE. You know what I mean? Psyche will clear AoE with her skill. Lisbel, Fantasio will clear AoE, whereas like Outsider, you need like a bunch of attack range to be able to do that, and then you'd probably be an OK. And then Berenica, like, again, she is kind of more like single target oriented, right? Unless the enemies are kind of grouped up. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below of this tier list. I know, again, you know, tier lists are definitely like very subject to like, you know, everyone's interpretation, but just from my experience playing the game, this is where I would rank all the characters for combat AI specifically, right? So again, this is not as like main DPS, like actual damage dealers. This is as like you running the characters as combat AI. So be like, you know, being transparent right now in the video. That's what I'm trying to say. So, you know, people don't get confused with like, oh, this is a main DPS. Why is Nightfall in solid tier? Right? No. Again, this is combat AI, guys. Combat partner AI. This is how you're going to be going about combat AI. So that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of the tier list here, and how you guys would actually rank this personally. Would you guys rank this any different? And yeah, let me know in the comment section below. But that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.